Hello everyone. Just a moment while I pour myself a cup of tea before I get started. Oh, that's delicious. Well, in the beginning, Alice McLean Barney, an educator, first pitched the notion to a group of mums in 1895 on a very hot day in August in New York. And on that day, motherhood was one of the most important contributions to society for women during that period. And Alice wanted to publicize her proposal of a conference nationwide. Now, Alice, an educator, connected with Phoebe Apperson Hearst, the wife of a U.S. senator. We can just vision them talking among themselves. Phoebe, let's ask the vice president's wife, the U.S. postal inspector, educators, editors, and school superintendents. We need to bring in the best and the brightest experts to speak to the movers and shakers. They work tirelessly to build relationships, to spread the word about their new venture. Then they identified officers who lived in different cities, D.C., Philadelphia, and Chicago. The day is February 17th, and the year is 1897. This was the very first meeting of the National Congress of Mothers, which included men and women, African American and white educators, editors, Sunday school teachers, and delegates from sister associations. They all came to Washington, D.C., as far west as California, and as far south as Tennessee, and as far north as Massachusetts. The attendees were eager to learn the most up-to-date information of educating children and how to be the best on raising their children. There was no exhibit hall filled with vendors or sponsors at the very first convention, but there was a nursery complete with the necessary information for the attendees to enhance the life of the child. I wonder if we looked in a crystal ball what it will be like 25 years from now in the year 1922. Let's see.
It's the 20s, the roaring 20s. PTA is roaring into this decade. The president of the National Congress of Mothers and Parent-Teacher Association is Catherine Chapin Higgins from the state of Massachusetts, where I come from. Boy, she had enough energy at over 70 years old to make 80 visits to state congresses and 197 towns, giving 257 addresses. Can you just see her now driving around in her 1921 Ford? In 1924, a new name of National Congress of Parents and Teachers was adopted, and in 1925, the new charter was issued. In 1925, National PTA had an increase of more than 500,000 since 1920 and was in 48 state branches. Mrs. Selina Sloan Butler was the founder and president of the National Congress of Colored Parents and Teachers in 1926. At the end of 1929, we closed the decade with the 7 cardinal principles of education that were adopted as the overall PTA program. The Charleston is getting old. I'm ready to do some swing dancing in the 1940s. Let's see what PTA is up to.
It's the 1940s, the year I was born, and wartime has hit everyone hard. Here is a picture of my father and his 2 brothers. It was in our local newspaper. but PTA is doing everything it can to help during these difficult times. PTA is providing wartime activities among local units, enrolling PTA members in nursing courses and cooperation and Save the Fat and other national salvage programs. A special wartime edition of the National Congress Bulletin and a war handbook is being published. Our PTA radio series, The Family in War, starring the Baxter family, is quite popular. National Congress of Colored Parents and Teachers now have 20 state branches, including our very own Florida. All children are our children was chosen as the theme of the Golden National Jubilee at convention. How special that our very own First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, is given the convention address. We're very comfortable in our new National PTA Dover, Delaware offices. And we will end the 1940s on a positive note with our PTA inaugurating an expanded parent education program with 5 education specialists conducting summer workshops in designated regions. Don't forget, we want to raise a lot of funds with our initiated Quarters for Headquarters that will hopefully raise money for National Headquarters building in Chicago. Now let's get back to celebrating our Golden Jubilee, our 50th year of National PTA, and we are very proud of all of our accomplishments in 50 short years. Now, as a PTA member in the 1940s, I can't help but wonder what PTA will look like in the 1970s. Let me look into my crystal ball and see. Oh, interesting.
Oh, hello, excuse me, but I'm getting ready to go downstairs to the National PTA meeting today. It's 1970, and it's a very important meeting here in Atlanta because National PTA and the National Congress of Colored Parents and Teachers are formally uniting to become one, the National PTA. Our elementary school PTA nominated our president for the new National PTA Life membership. My daughter Samantha, who's in the 5th grade, she came home yesterday all excited because she can now become a member of the PTA of our school and have full and equal membership. And they will call it the PTSA for the Parent Teacher Student Association. It's 1972, and today I got the very first 8-cent commemorative postage stamp to honor PTA and the celebration of the 75th anniversary of its founding. Now it's 1975, and PTA dues went up from 10 cents to 20 cents. I guess I need to start saving my dimes. It's 1976, and I was speaking with a few of the parents, PTA parents at my school, and about some of the violence on TV today. And we are glad that National PTA initiated a nationwide project to combat violence on TV. I volunteered to chair the new National PTA program called Reflections at my school. Now all those cute drawings on our refrigerator made by our kids can be entered into the program. So the 70s was a great era. It really was for PTA. But let's take a look at PTA in the future. 2020. Wow, that's a long time from now.
Here we are in the present, 2020. We've seen so many changes for PTA through the years until the present time, but in 2020, no crystal ball could have predicted COVID-19 and how it would change the world. Our world is now this. And this. But on a positive note, 2021 brought us a vaccine to fight COVID. And eventually, everybody who wants the vaccine will be able to receive it.